So how did you get into RC?
From watching my dad, I guess. You know, at early age, he was always into RC as a kid himself, and so naturally, I followed him to the RC flying field and everything as a kid. So my earliest memories actually were in Alamogordo, New Mexico. He would take me out to the flying field, and nitro fuel to this day. Anytime I smell it, I'm like, oh, good old flying field nitro fuel. But even though everything's gone electric, yeah, I've got a sweet spot for nitro.
My first exposure to RC, I was actually sitting in the lounge with my stepfather one evening, and a commercial came on. It was a cereal commercial, and it had a radio control plane in it. That there and then was my real eureka moment. That's when I knew I wanted to get into RC.
All right, so let's see. My first RC experience was I've been saving my money to build a robot, which I knew nothing about building robots. I was like 11 or 12 years old. And so my dad and I are leaving this local lumberyard. We drove past this field, which we called the Outlaw Field because a bunch of guys would fly there, but it wasn't an official club. I said, well, that looks really cool. I really want to get into this. So what money I had, scrounged it together, and I was bound and determined to get an RC airplane. So that's how I got interested in RC.
So what was the first thing you flew?
The first thing I attempted to fly was a airplane made by Kraft way back in the day called the Chickmunk. It was before the Super Chickmunk. And the wing on it, I actually dug it out of a trash can at the flying field and makeshifted together with an RC car radio that I scavenged from my dad. And so it was just 2-channel. Cox 049 on it, so it was just a piece of crap. And a glider wing from one of these throw gliders that you'd buy at like a toy store. And it flew, didn't fly, but after that, my first actual successful was a 40 size gas trainer that I got right around 10 years old.
My first RC model was a HobbyKing Superstar 40. That wasn't a new model because a little story behind this. We went down to what we found to be the local club, my stepfather and I, and this renegade pilot with lots of money crashed it and promptly threw it in the bin. We took it out the bin, we repaired it together, and that was my first RC model.
So let's see, my first model was a Carl Goldberg Eagle II, which is a 40 size nitro powered airplane. And I picked it up, bought it from a relative of my dad's, distant relative, January 1st of 1996. So that was my first airplane. The next day, first day we were gonna go out and fly it, my dad was gonna take me to the local flying club, figured that would be a better place to learn to fly. And what do? I promptly drop the transmitter and break it. So I've crashed my first airplane and broken it effectively before I ever got to fly it. So a few months later, it was finally fixed, and my dad took me out to the local club on a Sunday morning, and that was my first RC flying experience.
So you spent a lot of time in the workshop with your dad as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Some of my earliest memories was the smell of epoxy resin as well. So I definitely helped him in any time. He always called me his little helper, you know, and so I would always try and help. But with my son, you know, looking back, I don't know how much help I actually was, but he definitely was patient with me and showed me everything I know today.
And experiences with my stepdad, well, it all stems from there. Every time I would crash a plane, he would be the one that always encouraged me to fix it, and we learned that way. I learned to fly first, and then I actually taught him to fly. And now every time I return to the UK, he's always there with me flying.
Like I said, my dad always took me out to the flying field pretty much every Sunday. We'd always go out there after we went to church and everything. And at the same time I was learning to fly, we actually built a Carl Goldberg Piper Cub together. We framed it up and everything, but we never actually got it finished. Even to this day, it's 18 years later, we've still never finished it. But that's what we did together. We built it, and like I said, he always took me out to the flying field every Sunday, anytime I wanted to go. He was always there to take me flying, which was really cool.